Do you find audiobooks, you were working on the audio for this and of course the Drunken Fireworks, do you find people are latching on to audiobooks more as they become more accessible through
I hope
technology?
so, because see, I am a deep believer in the power of the oral tradition, the spoken word. I think that being told a story, having a story come in. I'm an inveterate fan of audiobooks. I've been listening to audiobooks for years, and of course I narrated Burt Dow Deepwater Man, which was Robert McCluskey's, and I've done some other audiobook narration, and there's something about the spoken word and how a story can take you away. That is, before we ever had written cuneiform or papyrus tablets, this is how human beings pass along information, sitting around a campfire, and it's a very powerful thing. And I think it hits you in a different way. You can completely become absorbed in it. Still use your turn signals, okay? But yeah, I hope this does have that. I think it's wonderful, and I have some of my favorites. Some of you folks watching will remember Darren McGavin was a television actor when I was a kid. I think he was on The Fugitive, I think.
Yeah, I think it was The Fugitive.
And he does the Travis McGee stories by John D. McDonald, and he does the whole series, and they're just riveting. And also Artie Johnson, who was on Laugh-In. If you want to hear a tremendous audiobook, Artie Johnson reads Confederacy of Dunces, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And the one other one, and I'll just say that, and Noel Stuckey was involved in producing this way back in the 70s, E.B. White reading Charlotte's Web. And you hear a dialect that I used to hear as a kid on the coast of Maine. It's kind of a mashup of New York and Maine. It's a beautiful dialect, but that's something comes alive in those renditions that's not available. I love to read, but it's a different experience.
Yeah.
It's a whole other richer
sort of a combination of still allowing you to use the imagery in your own mind, but not as far as a movie.
Yeah,
it still allows you that
allowing and the voice. One reason Steve asked me to do this is, and we've joked about this over the years, and I did an interview with the New York Times yesterday.
Good Lord.
That's almost like the New York Post.
Almost.
But,
you're getting there.
But what I was saying is, this dialect, this Maine dialect, is one that even some of the greatest voice actors on the international scene, they stay away from it. Michael Caine famously, when they did Cider House Rules, he wouldn't even approach a New England accent because it's hard to do. So Steve wanted this. We've always joked, sometimes Steve has more or less input into who does what in the films, depending on how and there have been some clunkers, and of course anybody who watched Murder, She Wrote, and Tom Bosley, I mean, come on. So great guy, but not the dialect didn't really.
Angela Lansbury, by the way.
Yeah.
Can't get any better than that. So Drunken Fireworks is available now through play.it.
In a store near you and on the download.
Steve will be, Tim will be, Steve won't be anywhere. Tim
will
be.
No, Steve will be around.
Oh, he'll be around.
I don't know if he's,
the
thing
truck.
is, this may come as a shock to you, Dan, but Steve and I operate at somewhat different levels in the entertainment hierarchy.
No.
We're kind of neck and neck, but not really.
Well, we exist.